Hey, it's Soul, bringing you the World of Warcraft. Today I'm going to show you how I fight Trilliax, the third raid encounter in the Nighthold. From a tank perspective, this one is a little bit more interesting than the other two. The first two fights didn't have anything that was super engaging or really deadly for the tanks, but this time there's at least a little bit to look out for. The towns I took this time around include Blessed Hammer, First Avenger, Blinding Light for the damage, Blessing of Spell Warding, Hand of the Protector, Judgment of Light, and Righteous Protector. There are a couple things you can change up here depending on how you gear. There's a good bit of magic damage that's dealt out, so you can take Holy Shield if you happen to have really high mastery. There's a tank swapping mechanic, but regardless of when you're tanking, you're still going to be taking some extra damage. For the timing of it, and because DPS just isn't quite as important for me, I took Righteous Protector instead of Seraphim. The deadliest ability in Trilliax's arsenal is Arcane Slash. It's a nasty cleave that has to be shared between both tanks. When Arcane Slash hits the current tank, they're going to get a debuff that will make them take 35% extra damage from all sources for 30 seconds. The rule of thumb here is that you and your co-tank are going to be swapping every 2 stacks. So what that means is that when Arcane Slash goes out the very first time, the current tank is going to take 35% extra damage. Once the second Arcane Slash goes out, the second tank is going to taunt, but that first tank is still going to have that 70% debuff for 30 seconds. Normally that's not a big deal, it's not like it's a dot, but keep in mind that Arcane Slash will hit both targets. On top of that, the Arcane Seepage, that's that purple crap on the ground, that's going to do a lot of damage if you have 2 stacks of the debuff. Keep the boss moving so that Arcane Seepage doesn't build up too much in one spot, or even worse if you happen to trap yourself. So even when you're not tanking the boss, you still need to be really careful. On top of that, there's going to be incoming damage that isn't necessarily in your control. DPS and healers are going to be taking care of toxic slices, that cake stuff that you might be hearing about. If you can handle it, you can eat the cake too. Just keep in mind though that you're going to take dot damage and have slower movement speed. This is where it might be a good idea to have Blessing of Spell Warding handy. Just the same, if you happen to be tanking the boss, you can help your other tank by using Blessing of Sacrifice. In his normal mode, Trilliax will use Arcane Slash maybe about every 17 to 20 seconds or so. In his Maniac mode, this cooldown is reduced to under 10 seconds though. Basically, the rule of thumb is that for every Arcane Slash that goes out, whether you're tanking the boss or the off tank is, you'll want to use your Shield of the Righteous to reduce the damage. Meanwhile, think of Maniac Mode as game time. That's when you want to have most of your cooldowns at the ready. Lastly, during Maniac Mode, Trilliax is going to use an ability called Arcane Bonds between both you and the other tank. It's pretty much here that you're going to encounter the most unavoidable tank damage. Once Maniac Mode is done, Trilliax will jump into the middle of the room and cast an ability called Annihilate. This is the time where you need to run to the middle of the room very quickly. Keep in mind that Arcane Bonds is still on both you and the other tank. The damage between the two of you should be negligible though if you happen to be on opposite sides. Just make sure you don't get hit by the actual Annihilate beam. Once Annihilate is done casting, the boss is going to be standing still for a little while. Take your time to double check your cooldowns and make sure your Shield of the Righteous charges are coming back up. From there, you just kind of rinse and repeat. So to recap, slowly move the boss around the room to avoid too much Arcane Seepage. Use your active mitigation to manage Arcane Slash. Swap every 2 stacks. Make liberal use of Blessing of Sacrifice to support your other tank. Save your major defensive cooldowns for Maniac Mode. Eat cake at your own risk. And don't get jacked up by the laser. Any extra spiky damage you take is probably going to come from Cleansing Destruction, which means your DPS and healers aren't doing their job right. From there, the phases repeat themselves until the boss is dead. So that takes care of Trilliax. I hope this guide was useful for you, and if it was, like and share and subscribe for more content. Otherwise, grats in advance on killing the boss, and I'll see you for the next fight. I'm Soul. Stay breezy, guys.